Caitlin Clark going to be playing here in Baltimore this summer at CFG Bank Arena. The Washington Mystics announced their 2 games with the Indiana Fever being moved from their home arena in D.C. to a larger venue in order to accommodate the anticipated crowd.
You might have thought the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese rivalry was all about basketball, but it's becoming much bigger than that. Now, it's turning into a huge event that's taking over the entire city.
I'm just going to point it out. For all of you, this is Angel Reese's home stopping grounds, by the way. So moving to Baltimore.
The Washington Mystics just made a bold move that's getting a lot of attention. They're shifting their home games against Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever to Angel Reese's hometown of Baltimore, Maryland. Let's be real, this is a smart financial move for the Mystics, but it's got Reese's fans fired up. The big question is, why not just keep the game at Capital One Arena in D.C. like last season? Did the Mystics intentionally put Reese in a tough spot, where she could be overshadowed in her own city? No matter how you look at it, this decision is bound to stir up some serious WNBA drama, and honestly, we're here for every second of it.
Official release, straight from the NBA website, man. Indiana Fever 2025 road games at Mystics moved to Baltimore. So, Angel, man, I mean, listen, y'all made a big deal 2 weeks ago about a Caitlin Clark billboard being put up in Chicago.
Angel Reese's fans are freaking out, and the reactions are priceless. Caitlin Clark is about to dominate Reese's home turf, not just once, but twice this season, and the meltdown from her supporters is something else. What we're seeing is the full force of the Caitlin Clark effect, and here's the twist, it's got nothing to do with Angel Reese's flashy moves. The WNBA is about to get a real taste of star power, and Baltimore is going to feel it up close.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
Chicago fans got a taste of this when Clark played there earlier, and the energy in the arena was off the charts. Every seat was filled, and the excitement was through the roof. But let's be real, fans weren't there to watch Angel Reese struggle with her shots or make a big deal out of regular plays. They came to see Caitlin Clark do what she does best, take over the game, break records, and elevate the league in a way no one else has in years. This is exactly what the WNBA has been waiting for, a star who draws crowds and brings real excitement. And sorry, but that excitement isn't coming from Reese's over-the-top celebrations after a 5-point, 10-rebound game.
So, it's been hard for me, but adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of, just moving on has been something I try to give myself a little bit of grace.
Now, Sky fans who think Angel Reese is the new face of the WNBA are scrambling every time Caitlin Clark steps onto their home court. It's like a harsh wake-up call. Reese's supporters have spent months building her up as the next big thing, but here's the reality, you can't be the face of the league if no one outside your fan group is paying attention. The only time Reese makes headlines is when she's involved in drama, missing easy shots, or throwing shade at other players. On the other hand, Caitlin Clark is doing what real superstars do, breaking records, selling out arenas, and bringing in a whole new audience to the sport.
There's a very thin line between hate and facts, and what I believe to be the case is that there was incremental growth in the WNBA comparatively to the exponential growth we are seeing now. What I'm about to tell y'all I haven't heard before, so I doubt you have either. Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means...
Here's the kicker, even Reese's biggest fans can't ignore what everyone else has known all along. The WNBA is thriving because of Caitlin Clark. Before she came into the league, attendance was hit or miss, TV ratings were low, and national interest was fading. Now, arenas are packed, broadcasts are breaking records, and every team wants a piece of the Caitlin Clark magic. Let's be honest, it's not because Angel Reese is putting up solid numbers against weaker teams, It's because Clark is a generational talent who makes every game a must-watch.
A lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness, she and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. She accounted also for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was number one.
Chicago fans are clinging to the idea that Angel Reese belongs in the same conversation as Caitlin Clark, but let's set the record straight. Clark is out there sinking logo threes, threading impossible passes, and creating viral highlights every game. Reese? She's definitely playing hard, no question, but there's a big difference between being a high-energy role player and a true franchise cornerstone. The WNBA is a business, and when it comes to the player who's selling tickets, jerseys, and boosting TV ratings, the answer is clear. And here's a hint, it's not the one flexing after a routine layup.
Yeah, let me tell you about Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark has brought so many eyes to women's basketball that it's amazing. A dude named Acho, I forgot his first name, is something Acho.
Emmanuel Acho.
Yeah. He showed how in 5 days before the draft, she made the WNBA more money than they would have made in the next 5 years without.
It's not just the fans having a hard time accepting the new reality. The Chicago Sky organization is feeling the heat too. They're stuck trying to market Angel Reese as their franchise star, but every time Caitlin Clark steps into their arena, she steals the show. The sold-out crowds, skyrocketing jersey sales, and highlight reel plays that take over social media, it's all Clark. Meanwhile, Reese's fans are trying to figure out what's going on. They say she's great for the culture, but last time we checked, cultural influence alone doesn't fill up stadiums.
Jeez. Man. Y'all were mad about that billboard a couple of weeks ago. The Reese's Pieces were. I mean, I just... This is going to annoy Angel. I know it is. And I know that they had to because the MCI Center, whatever, Verizon Center is under renovation. But still.
Ticket sales and TV ratings are through the roof, and Caitlin Clark is delivering like no one else. WNBA teams are quickly catching on to what Clark has done for Indiana, and now they all want a piece of that action. The league has never experienced this level of national buzz, and let's be honest, it's not because Angel Reese is grabbing rebounds. Clark's presence turns regular season games into must-watch events. She's turning casual fans into die-hard supporters, while Reese's fans are left watching as their favorite takes a back seat to the biggest star in the sport.
They're going to say, see ya there. Now, the Indiana Fever stated, venue change, our regular season game on May the 28th. On September 7th at the Washington Mystics are moving to CFG Arena in Baltimore, bruh. So as y'all can see here, say game location change, CFG Bank Arena, Baltimore, Maryland. CFG Bank Arena, Baltimore, Maryland. Somebody said, could it be the Mystic owner doesn't want the Caitlin Clark shine to be seen again?
Let's talk about the endless excuses that pop up whenever Reese underperforms. First, it was that she's young, then it was that she needs more time, and now it's that she's still adjusting. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is getting double and triple teamed, fouled on nearly every play, and still putting up elite numbers. It's funny how one player gets constant excuses, while the other just goes out and improves her game every single time. That's why Clark is the most impactful player the WNBA has seen in years.
The preseason game, Brazil versus the preseason game against the Brazilian national team sold out in 36 minutes, 15,000 fans. There's tickets for that game, upwards of $4,500.
Reese's fan base is really scrambling, and it's honestly pretty funny. They're asking, why isn't Angel getting the same star treatment? Why aren't teams bending over backward for her too? The answer is simple, she's not Caitlin Clark. Clark is selling out 10,000-seat arenas in no time. Every city she plays in becomes a must-see event. Fever ticket sales are through the roof, and even opposing teams are shifting venues just to keep up with the insane demand to see her play. Meanwhile, Reese's fans are left scratching their heads, wondering why her games aren't creating the same level of excitement.
I mean, all over. I mean, a lot of these tickets are crazy. But I'm just like,
it's not even about the price for me. I'm just thinking about, like, I'm comparing the Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky, because they said that it was like Me Too. Like, you guys are watching women's basketball because of Me Too. I mean, bro, everybody could get into this. Like, literally everybody could get into this game.
Reality check. No one is moving their games for Angel Reese. No teams are rushing to secure larger venues to meet overwhelming ticket demand. The unrivaled league experiment already showed that without Caitlin Clark, the excitement just isn't the same. Reese's fans keep expecting the world to treat her like basketball royalty, but the truth is clear, Clark is on another level. Her impact is measurable and undeniable, while Reese is still playing catch-up, making a lot of noise without delivering the same results. People aren't fighting for tickets to see Reese, and no one is pushing teams to expand arenas just to catch a glimpse of her on the court. That's the difference.
Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
Let's talk about Sheila Johnson, the owner of the Washington Mystics. She really thought she was making a point with her speech about Caitlin Clark. Standing in front of the cameras, she insisted the media should spread the attention around, claiming Clark wasn't the only player who deserved the spotlight. She framed it as advocating for the underappreciated stars of the WNBA. Fast forward a few weeks, and suddenly the Mystics are moving their games to a bigger arena. Why? Because of Caitlin Clark. So let's get this straight. When it fits the narrative, Clark is just another player, right? Nothing special. But the second ticket sales skyrocket, suddenly she's the best thing that's ever happened to the Mystics. The contradiction is wild. If this was truly about promoting all WNBA players equally, why weren't they moving stadiums before? Why weren't they selling out games before? Oh, right, it's because Angel Reese and the rest of the league weren't drawing crowds like this.
So the Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson goes on CNN and says that the entire WNBA should have been put on the cover of Time magazine. It is hard to get away from this conversation because it just keeps making national news. And to be frank, I've never seen a story in the WNBA get as much widespread coverage as this is getting. I honestly can't wait until the season's back in so we can get more about basketball talk. But back to this.
So last night we read Time magazine where Caitlin Clark was named Athlete of the Year. Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that we have? Because when you just keep singling out one player, it creates hard feelings.
Sheila, 1 minute you're preaching about how the media should give other players more attention, and the next you're counting up Caitlin Clark's ticket sales like you just hit the jackpot. The hypocrisy is impossible to ignore. If the WNBA earned $1 every time someone downplayed Clark while secretly cashing in on her success, they'd be making NBA-level profits by now. It's the same old story: dismiss her, act like she's overhyped, but then turn around and ride the wave of sold-out games and record-breaking viewership. Now, the very people who once rolled their eyes at her impact are completely shifting their marketing strategies to cash in on the Caitlin Clark effect.
But I've got a theory that Sheila Johnson is trying to do two things here. Number one, she's trying to screw Indiana Fever fans and Caitlin Clark fans. 6,000 less tickets available. Number two, while lining her pockets even more. Now, you might be like, well, Rhodes, I don't get it. Well, it's simple. Less tickets means the gate prices, all right? The gate prices for the game will actually go up. In other words, just like that preseason game, they got has got tickets for $4,500. A run-of-the-mill game like this, even we all know Caitlin Clark tickets are expensive.
Let's be honest, Sheila. You can talk all you want about giving other players more credit, but you know who's really driving the success. That's why your team is moving games to larger arenas and going after that boost in revenue. Caitlin Clark isn't just a trend, she's the future of the league. Deny it if you want, but don't act like you're not cashing in on it.
Caitlin Clark doesn't just move the needle, she is the needle. And if you need any more proof of that, the Indiana Fever exhibition game sold out in just about 30 minutes.
Caitlin Clark's impact is undeniable. She sold out her first preseason game against Brazil in just an hour, yet some people still wonder why she's getting so much attention. It's not complicated. Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent, and the demand for her is unlike anything the WNBA has ever experienced. Fans didn't just buy tickets, they overwhelmed the system. Meanwhile, other players in the league are struggling to get people to even show up, like they're offering free food at a family barbecue. And let's be honest, Angel Reese's fans are way out of touch. They honestly believe she should be getting the same hype as Clark. That's like expecting a cover band to sell out Madison Square Garden. Clark has fans who never cared about women's basketball before, but now they're watching every game, tracking her records, and sharing her viral moments. Reese? Not quite the same story.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Caitlin Clark is clearly showing she's the biggest star in the WNBA, and the numbers prove it. Every time she steps on the court, it's a major event, national media coverage, packed arenas, and fans lining up just to see her. Meanwhile, Angel Reese's fans seem to think she deserves that same level of attention. But why? Because she once taunted Clark or posts on TikTok? That's not enough. Clark's impact is undeniable, her performance speaks for itself. She's changing the game, while Reese is just another player.
There's some hundreds in there. Don't play with them. There's some hundreds in there. Do not play with the Chicago Sky. There are hundreds in there. You see this? Okay. Oh, here goes the Indiana Fever. Wow.
Caitlin Clark is being compared to all-time legends, breaking viewership records, and making networks rethink how they cover women's basketball. Meanwhile, Angel Reese's supporters are still trying to convince people she's on Clark's level. Let's face it, she's not. One player is selling out arenas in minutes, while the other isn't even close. Clark is the one changing the game. She's got NBA stars praising her, casual fans hooked, and kids looking up to her. That's true star power.
But yeah, it's a big situation again. Like Caitlin Clark selling out Iowa, sold out a preseason game. People saying it sold out in 40 minutes. This is within 20 minutes. Like obviously you couldn't get onto the damn website. It's sold out. You could have been trying to refreshing the page and not got tickets. Most of the time, it officially sold out in 40 minutes, but like realistically, it almost crashed the website.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese's fans are acting like there's some big conspiracy holding her back. Let's be real, the truth is simple. Caitlin Clark is the reason the league is booming. She's the reason people are tuning in, buying jerseys, and filling up arenas. Clark sparks debates on Twitter, she's got people talking. That's the difference. The numbers don't lie, and fans know what's going on. Caitlin Clark is in a league of her own. Reese's fan base can keep making excuses, but the reality isn't changing anytime soon. They can rant, flood social media with think pieces, and push the idea that Angel is the face of the WNBA, but facts don't care about feelings. Caitlin Clark is here, and every metric, attendance, ratings, fan engagement, proves it. So, Reese fans, keep complaining about unfair treatment or telling yourselves it's all just media hype. It won't change the facts. Caitlin Clark is dominating, and Angel Reese is simply another player watching history unfold. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.